guess we're live. Oh, should we shut this thing off? How do we know if anybody's in here? Oh, it says nobody's in here. Outside with Shibe. What's up, fellas? What's up, Shibe? How's it going? Oh, TB is here.
Who's that, Tommy Butler?
I don't think that's Tommy Butler. He doesn't know how to use a computer. Outdoors in the 608. Someday. Okay, wow, we got a bunch of people here. All right. Well, guys, for those who are here, Chris and I, it's raining, hailing out. We just went and picked up my truck for the job tomorrow that we're going to be filming, doing some tree work. But we figured since we can't make a video outside, we're just sitting here drinking some beers in the basement. So we try going live for the first time.
Oh, there's the ticker. We got 17.
Oh, 17. Oh, yeah. Shibe just said, now I know what Dan and Shibe and Brad and everybody feel like when they're looking at the chat. I can only imagine. Oh, TB was just watching your video using the moisture meter. Yeah, the top test. I got the box to it right here. Chris and I were just talking about that thing. It's pretty interesting. I didn't, realize that I should have read the directions before I made the whole video on it. But there's a lot of different features in there. Wow, a lot of a live show. I was just watching.
Beer's good. On. What's up, man?
Who's that?
Old guy. Firewood.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, Dick? Dan's house is smoking outdoors. How's it going? TC. Cosmo Kramer. Yeah, we got the Kramer over there. A loathsome, offensive brute. Yet I can't look away. All right. Well, this is successful, I guess. I don't know.
So great.
If you guys have any questions or anything that you've wanted to ask, I guess that's kind of how this works. We're just kind of hanging out. Figured we'd give it a try. Big giveaway is coming up. We'll have to do that in about a week or so. But they were top test was nice enough to send the second moisture meter. So we'll have to do that soon. Good luck to everybody that entered, and thank you for watching the video. 29 people here. Wow.
5 likes. People are
5 people liked it. All right. Did you get the kingpins replaced? No, I have not gotten the kingpins replaced. We're actually going to be using the International tomorrow. I have my buddy. He ordered the whole kingpin replacement kit. So we're going to be bringing it to his shop, his other shop, his big shop, where he has a lift big enough for that truck. And we're going to be getting that fixed. I hate it, but I can only stay for a short time. Oh, awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Dick, for stopping by. And I appreciate the feedback. We're just using the old MacBook Pro here, so nothing too fancy, but I'm glad it sounds good. Let's see. Jeff Y just finished the top test video as well. Did any of you guys watch the video with Chris where he stole the cameras in the tractor for the day? And
I stole the cameras, but Jake didn't leave any memory cards.
Yeah, I forgot to leave. Well, because I was editing videos while I was away.
On vacation,
so
trying to put in the time with his future wife, and just blatantly ignoring her.
No, but that was a good video. People seem to enjoy that. Yep, Dave C said you had a good video.
Thanks, Dave.
Shive said, how did you end up going to WVU when from Connecticut? How long have you and Chris known each other? All right. Well, that is a question we could probably talk about. I ended up going to West Virginia because I was going to school for forestry. I applied from Maine down to Virginia, and West Virginia ended up being the school for me. They had the exact program I wanted. I did a double major in 2 different aspects of forestry. And that's basically how I chose West Virginia. How long have we known each other?
We've been with the town I've been with the town for 4 years. And then I was at Bartlett for another 3. So 7 to 8-ish.
Yeah, 7, 8-ish years. We met each other when we both worked for Bartlett Tree Experts. I had been there for probably like 2 years when Chris first got out of college. And then started much like I had, and that's how we met each other. And I moved over to the town that we now work for, and then a position opened up, and we were looking for a good guy. So I let Chris know, and that's how that all started. Chris, you were doing a very good job. Great video. Amigos, you need to bring Sarah into your live stream. Yeah, Sarah is actually out to, I don't know, cocktails or something with her mom right now. She was doing some wedding planning this afternoon with her mom. So that's where she is. She's not home. Shime said, people thought I went to West Virginia because my school has the same abbreviation. Well, there you go. I mean, it's not a bad mistake to make, I guess. Do you trim everything or just power lines? We trim everything. I mean, doing, the side business of the tree work that you see, the videos that we make, when we're climbing and stuff, that we do everything. At work, we do everything too, but we also do a lot. I'd say 90% of the work is probably around power lines. They're not always primary power lines, but a lot of it is around power lines because we work for a municipality. So the property that they own
is pretty close to the road.
Yeah, is along the road. But we also take care of parks, schools, a couple islands and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. We run the full gamut. What else do we have? I think I'm going to look at the bad boy. Oh, Shibe, you're finally going to go look at the bad boy tractors, huh? I think Chris and I were talking to you in the basement when you first said that you were going to look at the bad boy tractors.
This was what, a month ago now?
Yeah, it was a while ago, but I'm glad to hear it, buddy, because I watched that video of you moving the wood, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, moving the wood, stacking it in the gator, and then restacking it into your $60 bins. So that's a lot of work. Wow, we got 40 people now. Look at that. That's almost as many views as we get on a regular video.
And 17 likes. That's the best we've got so far.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Great job, Chris. Can you read these?
No,
your eyes aren't that good. Yeah. Great job, Chris, on your solo video. Looked at the power needed for the Wood Max, and 25 horsepower will be fine. Oh, that's for Shibe's tractor. Howard Smith, 2 very ambitious young men from the Northeast. Keep up the good work and videos. Thanks a lot, Howard.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. We're just, we basically just film what we do after working on the weekends, and we try to keep it pretty real, and hopefully that conveys, in the videos that we post.
We should really start just having like a camera on at all times, because a lot of the stuff that we banter about off camera is like, oh man, we should have had that for the camera. Hold on. Let's turn that back.
Yeah, and it's never as good, when you try to recreate the moment or anything like that. But I think this live stream would be pretty good because it's basically just you and I talking here, bantering back and forth. Let's see. WV Scotty said, give it time, guys. I see this channel growing. Keep it up. Thanks, Scotty. I'm assuming by your handle there that you're probably from West Virginia. What part of West Virginia are you from? TC Outdoors said, I need to get pallet forks. You both need Shibe, but the forks are a must. Or you need both, Shibe. I think old guy's telling Shibe that he needs, if he gets a tractor, a grapple and pallet forks.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, the way that Shibe has his wood stacked on those
on the plastic pallets,
and the shelving units or whatever those metal grates
are.
Gus? I don't know if the forks would be very useful in that aspect.
I think he might start going to totes though.
If he switches over to totes,
I've heard some grumblings in Shibe's videos that he might switch over to totes because it might be easier. I wonder. I don't know. You must have seen that on some channel with two strapping young gentlemen. Bob's Trades and Mass said, love the Coors and the old school bottles. Oh, yeah. Coors Banquet and the stubby bottles. It's the only way to do it. Cheers, guys. Let's see. I watched your video the other day where a hydraulic hose busted. You should protect yourselves and put hose guards on the hoses. Therefore, you will not get sprayed in the future. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good point, Joseph. Because I just read, I always kind of knew about it, but I just read an article about, I think they call it hydraulic like infusion or something, where like
when it forces its way through your skin into your bloodstream.
Yeah, and that it can kill you like that. So I'm surprised actually that like more log splitter companies don't have guards on it. Like you don't really
I wonder if it's more of like a distance thing. So if you have your hand on a hydraulic line when that happens, it's definitely getting in there. But from where you were standing and where that relative to where that line blew,
so
I think you would have just been covered in oil if it blew
not necessarily punctured my skin. And because of the size of the gash in that hose, that gash in the hose, I don't know if it like showed in the video, but it was probably about at least an inch, if not an inch and a half long tear in the hose. It was pretty wild. Let's see. Frank said, I wish YouTube was around 30 years ago. It looks like you guys have a good time. Still doing a lot of what you do, just a lot slower than before. Well, that's all that matters, that you're still doing it. I still hope I'm doing it when I'm older as well, because I don't know about you, but for me, this is like my hobby, and it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great time, but the seeing the older folks still going after it, you got to move it or lose it. If you keep it moving, it's going to stay going. If you stop, you'll never get it back. So keep on trucking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. TB said Chris mentioned the Cormity in his video. It has been a while since we've seen it. Do you still have it? I get this question a lot. No, I don't currently still have the Cormity. The Cormity was a demo that I got to use for about like 9 or so months on the channel, and I really liked it. And I'm expecting to be getting one back soon. At least that's what we keep hearing from the dealer. They took the Cormity back before we put too many hours on it and brought it around to their trade show like circuit, and then ended up selling that used one that we had on the channel for, whatever, like as a used unit. Ever since then, COVID happened and things kind of went wild. So the Kubota motors have been hard to get. So they haven't been able to get me a new one, but hopefully we should be getting the newest, latest, greatest Cormity soon-ish. I don't know. We'll see. That's about all I can say on that.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, exactly.
We were just talking in the wood yard yesterday about how awesome it would be to have the Kubota and the Cormity on this video coming out.
Yeah, you'll see this video in probably a couple days, where it would have been helpful to have two machines with pallet forks simultaneously. Let's see. Wow, the chat. Now we got 45 people in here. Let's see. You guys have been growing a lot since I subscribed. Thank you. Walcott Family Works. We've been trying. Yeah, we appreciate it. Oh, WV Scotty, outside of Morgantown. Go Mountaineers. At least I hope they get going. Yeah. Hey, when I was in college there, it was awesome with Geno Smith and everything. But since then, it's been a downhill. But I'm hoping to get down to a game this fall. Shibe said either that or make totes out of the pallets. Okay. Yeah. I mean, as long as you can pick up and move the wood in some sort of container without having to, stack it multiple times and just pick it up and move it. I think that's the biggest thing. Let's see. Old Guy Firewood. I was talking to Frank. Gorilla Nurse. That's a new name. I haven't seen that one. Howdy, guys from Wisconsin. Keep up the great work. Enjoying the channel. Well, thanks a lot for watching.
Wisconsin. That's where my father's from. He's out from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. All right. That's my favorite brand of tools. Gorilla Nurse. I wonder I wonder if they actually like Jane Goodall kind of thing. That's it. I don't know. Their profile picture's a gorilla. Greetings from Lithuania. Wow. What time is it in Lithuania? That's wild. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Here, 6 o'clock here.
Almost difference. Now we're up to 50 people. Totes are awesome if you can get them. They're getting more expensive all the time. Yeah, Dave, it's crazy. If you can find the right outlet, you can get them for free, because companies, from what I've heard, it's a pain for the companies to return the totes. So a lot of the time, like, I get all mine for free. So just keep looking for totes, and you might be able to get some for a lot less expensive or potentially free. Hey guys from Canada. Hello, Little's Lawn Care. Welcome to our first live stream. Lily's Farm and Firewood Stand gave a thumbs up. I think I've seen that name on TikTok since I started a new TikTok. Will Davidson is in the house. The hydraulic infection is most prevalent when you check for a hydraulic leak with your hand instead of cardboard. Well, that makes sense. Thanks for tuning in, Will Davidson. Whoa, wait, we got a super chat from Shy, but when did that come in?
Thank you,
All
Shy.
right, cheers. I guess we don't have like dancing ladies or anything like Dan, but we'll do a classic cheers.
Who's Will Davidson? WD-30?
WD-30.
What's going on, short sack?
It was funny because Will Davidson, WD-30, remember I asked you the other day, because of your handle on YouTube and then meeting you, your name was kind of like in my head, and I couldn't remember if the product was WD-30 or WD-40. And I mean, it was a blonde moment. It was a blonde moment.
We were standing in the woodyard,
and we needed it.
We needed it. And Jake looks at me, he goes, "Is it 30 or 40?" Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's 40. Are you sure? I don't think it is.
Maybe it was the WD-30 and then back 40. You know, it was
maybe
it was confusing me. Are you okay? Howdy, cheers. Wow, we got a lot of love the content, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for watching.
You are a pleasant surprise. Hey, Shibe. Hello, Jake and Chris. Hey, Larry and Robin. How you guys doing? Saw that video of the Halverson. That thing's pretty neat. Wish we had one of those, or a machine strong enough to power one. Would just be nice. This channel is one of the best, but needs Wolf Ridge, not an Easton. Okay, well,
what makes you say that? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'd be curious to.
Yeah, what is your preference to the Wolf Ridge over the Easton mate?
Not that we're partial in any way. We're a third party outlier. Yeah. Hello, Tim. Let's see. Good afternoon, Jake and Chris. David Edwards, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for watching all the videos and always commenting. You are always one of the first to comment, so I appreciate that. Picked a good night to go live. Crummy rainy day. Yeah, exactly. I figured, it was funny, Steven, because I posted that video right before I left work. And as I was driving home from work, I was getting a ton of comments. And I texted Chris, of course, not using my hands, but, voice to text. And I said, maybe today would be a good day to go live instead of working out in the rain and sleet. Seems like there's a lot of people online right now because I'm getting a ton of comments. So here we are. Cool channel, from tree removal to fireplace, full service operation. Keep up the hard work. Thanks, John. We appreciate that a lot. We really do. Will Davidson, I love that I can help with the great product placement. Yeah, we should have pulled it out and done a little WD-30 or is it 40? I don't know.
It could be 50.
It might be. No, it doesn't flow off the tongue quite as well. Open Air Adventure. I think Open Air Adventure is a recent subscriber in the last couple of weeks. Hey boys, raising my beer glass to a great season. Well, cheers. Thanks for watching the channel. Lily's Farm and Firewood Stand. Everyone's getting an Easton. I love both splitters, but want to see more than the 1222. Okay, that's a fair argument, I guess. Observation. Yeah, as of right now, no new splitter in the foreseeable future. We're just going to keep working with what we got and modifying it until it just breaks from all the modifications, because the only thing that breaks on that Rugged Made splitter, the motor is fine, the I-beam is fine, the main wedge is fine. It's all of the modifications that we've added onto it, because we're not engineers. So at the end of the day, it's only as strong as what we build it, and we're not professionals. So
far from it.
Chris is a Larry and Robinson. Chris is a certified movie star now. Great job.
I heard I was
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Yep.
Yeah.
Affleck or Affleck, like the duck.
I'm not sure.
He might have been a typo.
It might have been, but definitely no bat suit. I promise you.
Yeah, no bat suit.
I do have a great chainsaw impression though while I sleep.
Oh yeah,
my fiance Sarah loves it.
Sawn log. So yeah, it's because they probably don't know that your fiance's name is Sarah.
She hasn't made the channel yet, but yeah, we're both marrying Sarahs, different Sarahs, Sarahs nonetheless.
Sarah's all the same. Sunny and 45 tomorrow. The work will get done. It sure will. We're going over to a buddy's house tomorrow to do a bunch of tree work. It's my buddy Joe who actually helped. I don't know if you guys saw the video where he cut the hole in our ceiling above the wood stove. So we're going to be going to do a little bit of barter there tomorrow. So let's see. Stevens Firewood said, haha, I have a 1222 with a Wolf Ridge 24-foot conveyor. So took the words right out of my mouth. Best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. The nickname is from Mike WST because of my initials and the fact that I was turning 30. He is a great guy who is so work heavy right now. Okay, so that makes sense. A little backstory to the
It's WD-30. A little age instead of height.
All right. It's
all
one
right,
thing.
I'm sorry. You're a cool dude. I enjoyed meeting you.
Yeah, it was great meeting Will Dick. And that's what got him to start watching the channel. Yeah, I don't think he was really a viewer of the channel before we met him at Brad's. So it really was a fellowship at the furnace. John Ramsden said, how old is the Rugged Made? That's a really good question, John. I don't know exactly how old it is, and neither does Jared, the owner of Rugged Made. From what we've been able to tell, the Rugged Made that I have predates Jared buying the company or taking over the company Rugged Made, which would date it at about like 15 years old, we think. So it's definitely seen a lot of wood, both just from us and from the guys that we bought it from, because they were using it to split wood for the wood boiler. So it's definitely an older machine. On the older side, definitely not as old as like some people use. It's not like 30, 40 years old, like you hear in the comments sometimes, but it's had a good life. Let's see. Bradley Farster said, do you ever wish you got a bigger tractor like the L4701? I got a 4701, but went back and forth on both for a year. That's a great question. I would have loved to get the L4701, but at the time, the only piece of equipment that I really had was my pickup truck and the 14-foot SureTrack dump trailer. So I went into the Kubota dealership and said, I want to buy the biggest tractor that I possibly can that will fit into this dump trailer. And the 4701 is like, I think, 1.5 feet wider or longer and about 9 inches wider. So it would have been, I don't think it would have fit.
Very tight.
Yeah, I don't think it would have fit in the dump trailer.
It's hard to fit the tractor that we have into that dump trailer.
Right.
You're constantly squeezing in between the loader arm and the sidewalls, trying to strap it down.
Yeah, you're going like this, trying to strap it down. It's
thinking skinny for sure,
especially with the 2-foot oak sides that we have on there.
Yeah.
So,
and then you really have to bend over and kind of contort yourself to get to those tie down points.
Right.
Having the flatbed trailer now, it would be great. You know, you have
I mean, now that we have that,
but you know,
who knows? Maybe a bigger tractor in the future. But honestly, the 3901, I think, is the perfect size for doing what we do, residential tree work, because it's able to fit through a double gate very easily. It has plenty of lifting power because I've done a couple modifications on that front. But it's not too big and it's not too small. It's not like a B series. Nothing against the B series, but those just don't have the lift capacity. And doing tree work, I mainly bought it to move logs, out of the backs of people's houses and stuff like that. And I think it does that pretty darn well. So let's see. What else do we have? Will Davidson. Isamade is Canadian. It's the best. I'm just starting out with firewood using a box door splitter at the moment. Hopefully one day looking to get a 1222. Well, everybody's got to start somewhere. I started out with a Troy built. I think it was like a 22-ton Troy built. And before that, just used a splitting maul, when I was in the Boy Scouts and stuff. So got to start out somewhere.
I mean, I still have a 20-ton Husky.
Right. Yeah. It's not that you burn much firewood.
I don't. I used to try to sell on the side, and it is a whole lot easier on me and my back just to come here and split wood here, sell it with Jake, through Jake, and all that. So I've kind of started leasing out my little splitter to my brother-in-law, to friends, to family, things like that.
Right. And, nothing wrong with that splitter. Absolutely.
No,
you can get a lot of work done and a lot of wood split with one of those. Just look where like Chris in the wood yard started out with his Glacier, if you guys remember that. Jack M, Jake and Chris, hello from Maryland. I think Jack M is Brad's buddy that we met with the 916. Wasn't his name Jack?
I'm terrible with names, so I
think
I have no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure his name was Jack because I just watched Brad's video the other day. And Jack, let me know. Are you Brad's friend with the 916? Second the box store splitter one day. Eastamade. Has anyone gotten an update on Chuck? Yeah, let us know about Chuck. I didn't hear about y'all before the fellowship, but y'all are towards the top of the short list of channels I watch now. Well, thanks, WD. We appreciate it. Just trying to get out there and do what we do.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing and following along.
Absolutely.
Make sure you tell all your friends.
Yeah. I'm sorry about your Eagles, by the way. I know you're a big Eagles fan, so that didn't pan out too well for you, but we won't go there. Bob's Trades and Mass. The Wolf Ridge you have might be older, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a beast. Yeah, I don't know who that's to. We don't have a Wolf Ridge. Let's see. Oh, I just skipped up a bunch last time.
We are way behind, huh?
Jake, if you only would have made your mods like I did on my Ruggamaid, you could just unbolt the mods and mount them to a newer machine. Yeah, Shibe, that was pretty funny that you I didn't realize that when I saw all your videos that they were just simply bolt on and pin on. So that was a good idea by you for sure. Let's see, what else do we got? Happy rainy Friday. Oh yeah, Jack, that is you with the 916. Okay, 22 Husky is a champion, though it's incredibly slow. Yep, I got to agree with that. Walcott Family Works, definitely slow, but it's a beast. So Mike Morgan had a 22-ton Husky. Hello from Minnesota. Hello, John. Yeah, so Shibe just did a little update on what happened with Chuck from Iron and Oak Sawmill. If you guys have ever met him or watched his channel, he did have a heart attack. So our thoughts and prayers have been going out with him and Deb for a couple days now. So, fingers crossed that he gets better and, we can all continue to enjoy his videos and everything else that he does for this whole community. Let's see. Wow, we're up to 59, Chris.
Oh, damn.
Would you just have to drain the main vein?
I did. I need a refill, too.
Yeah, I need a refill as well. have you guys used a super split kinetic log splitter? And if you have, what do you think of them? Have you used, I haven't used a super split kinetic wood splitter. Have you used?
I have not.
I've used a DR kinetic wood splitter.
I have not. My brother worked for a small masonry company, and in the off season, so to speak, they did firewood on the side, and they had one of those super splits. Well, a couple of them. They did the resplits off of the mega split or whatever that.
The super split.
Stack,
yeah. Okay.
He said he loved it.
They're fast.
Yeah,
they're really fast. I mean, I use the DR one. I'd imagine they're all relatively similar. The DR one didn't have a log lift like I think the super split offers. Excuse me, on certain models. But they're fast. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great resplitter machine. I think for a lot of the wood that we get, it would probably be totally fine, except for the fact that it's, a single way wedge. So that kind of, it's very fast cycle time, but you're splitting, kind of one piece at a time. Let's see. All right. What's up, Jake and Chris? How's it going, Adam Pittman? Thanks for joining in. Okay, we're talking about Scheib's tractor, over 25 horsepower. You'll end up with passive DPF emissions over 50 or 75. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's something to think about as far as the tractors. Like my 3901 does have a DPF and it does do regen, but I can just work right through it. The only downside is you have to like rev it up to like almost full throttle. And it always seems to happen at the absolute worst times, right? It's like we'll be loading the tractor onto the trailer the day before a job, like we should be doing now, but it's hailing out, and the regen light will go on, and it's like, do I just let it sit on the trailer for a half an hour and rev to high hell, or do I, delete it and shut it off and then have to do it when we go to the job? That's what I do most of the time.
I don't think we got it on video, but the that failed side job day, it ran most of the morning.
Yeah, right. It was warm. It was warm. It was -6 degrees out, but that tractor was warm. Thank you to the emissions, so
it started up just fine, and our trucks didn't really enjoy the cold, but it decided it wanted to go through regen as soon as we started up to warm it.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the way it goes, but at least we don't have to deal with DEF. Let's see. Well, there's like people talking to each other in the chat, like a 3K, I would say between the 40-25 and the 40-35, I could get a grapple. Well, yeah, what kind of grapple are you looking at, Scheib? If you've gotten that far yet. I know there's a lot of different grapples out there. I did my research, and you guys know what type of grapple I have, but not to say that one's better than the other, one style's better than the other. It's all dependent on what type of work you guys do. But I'm curious to know what kind of grapples you guys have, or what Scheib you're thinking of. Okay. Oh, Adam's saying that's what I really considered when I was looking at tractors. One of the big reasons I bought a Coyote CK 2610, no emissions and plenty of lift capacity. I think that's the same tractor that Adam has at Hometown Acres. Oh, Bad Boy makes their own grapple. Okay. WV Scotty said, do you guys climb trees to cut too? Well, we don't climb trees just for the hell of it. So every time we're climbing a tree, we're making cuts. I don't know exactly what you mean, Scotty.
We climb to prune and we climb to
remove. So
we do the both of them.
Yeah. We're not typically climbing trees. A lot of the time at work, we have a bucket truck. So a lot of the time when we're on the side jobs is when we're climbing. And personally, I think that's a little bit more interesting to watch. just because of the intricacies of it. I know a lot of people aren't interested in it, but those videos don't typically do as well as the firewood videos, but I like to put them out there anyway, because it's a big part of, both of us, like that's why we got into this. And I always wanted to be a tree climber when I was younger. So let's see. John Edwards said, I have a dirt bucket, snow bucket, and grapple for my 2000 Bobcat 773, learning there's drawbacks to a skid steer versus a tractor. Namely, you can't get out of the cab if the boom is up. Yeah, we have a skid steer at work. And for a while, both of our log trucks were down, and we bought a grapple like bucket. It's kind of, it's not like a grapple like the Wicked grapple that I have. It's like a bucket,
like a demo bucket.
Yeah, it's like a demolition grapple, I guess. It's like a bucket on the bottom with 2 lids on the top. And I was operating that thing for a couple weeks while both the log trucks were out, and
it works.
It worked, but it was a huge pain compared to the Wicked grapple.
Yeah, if you look back at the video that I did, I did respond to a comment where they asked, which do you think is better, the bucket grapple with the 2 lids or the Wicked grapple with the 1 lid? And it has its applications, but the bucket grapple with the 2 lids, it tore up the grass like crazy. If you weren't scraping on pavement or a hard surface with the bucket, it just tore everything up, and you were getting a whole lot more organic matter than wood matter.
Right.
The Wicked grapple, it doesn't have that hard bucket. It's a lot lighter, and you're able to actually kind of like rake the ground with it rather than pull the ground up with the log.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick up something very small in diameter, because those teeth, while they don't close down onto each other, which is good in certain scenarios, you could pick up a very small piece of wood or like a sapling or something with it relatively easily.
The nice thing about the Wicked grapple as well is you can see through it. You don't really think about it, but when you use that bucket grapple, you're looking at the back of a bucket. You can't see what you're grabbing.
Right, you can't see what you're doing. Let's see. Oh, Scotty said that's what I meant. Shipe said the Bad Boy 4025 and 4035 have the same lifts. Right. So like if you're not going to use the tractor for ground engagement or anything that requires a certain threshold of horsepower for the PTO, personally, I don't see the need to spend the extra money for the larger tractor. I mean, I think for Shibe's case, he's going to be using it for lift capacity and I don't know, maybe a chipper or something. But the Wood Max, as you guys have seen, I think they claim on their website, you could utilize one as low as 19 PTO horsepower, which to me, I don't know about that. I don't know if you're going to get the full capacity out of, that they claim the diameter capacity out of it if you're at 19 horsepower at the PTO. But I think my tractor puts out about 35 horsepower at the PTO, and it blows through. As long as the blades are sharp, and everything's well maintained, it blows through maple and oak, stuff like that. Let's see. You can do low horsepower work with high horse, but not vice versa. Yeah, that's true. Bill Blythe just got in from work. How's it going, man? That's who, I don't know, challenged us to do the
log stacking.
Yeah, Doug's from One Eye Customs. Yeah,
very cool.
And he by far had the best videos. It was the most creative. Do you notice a difference with the loaded tires now? Am I glad that I did it? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Huge,
100%.
huge difference. And it's not so much when you don't really notice it when the big tool rack is on, because that weighs so much because of all the sandbags and everything that I have in it. I guess I've never really showed that. I've kind of alluded to it. But when you really do notice it is when the big tool rack is off. Mm-hmm. Because before, when the big tool rack was off, the tractor was very tippy when you would just pick up even a small tote of like ash. You could pick it up, no problem. Like the tractor will pick up anything. It's just
when you start going into those turns, your
as soon as you want to
popping up,
or you hit a chunk of the asphalt millings that, you know, because I got them all for free, they weren't like screened or anything. When you hit a nice chunk or like a knot or a piece of stick or something, the tractor would just like jolt, and all of a sudden you got to drop the load. With the loaded tires, it's I mean, it's really, we can move faster around the wood yard and you just feel a lot more stable. I'm curious to see how it feels out on a job. Since I got them loaded over the winter, we haven't been doing much tree work as far as like being out on people's, you know, properties. The one reason I didn't load the tires initially from the get-go was because I was concerned about accessibility and having, you know, to like drive or skirt around people's septic systems, you know, on their houses and stuff. But I think now that I've had the tractor for like going on 3 or 4 years now, we're usually 99% of the time we're able to figure out an alternative method to, you know, to get into the backyard, or we just mat it in, and, you know, disperse that weight even further. So let's see. Adam at Hometown Acres has a CK 3510. Okay, same size tractor as a CK 2610. But with the same engine, but just defined to pass emissions. Gotcha. SNS Pro Firewood. Hi, Jake and Chris. How's it going? Glad you were able to make it. We're up to 66 people here.
There was
69 people.
We're doing
Whoa,
good.
that's a funny number.
38 likes, more than half of you.
39 likes. It's going up. Anybody who hasn't hit that like button, do us a favor. WD30 said, I love the rope play with trees. Okay. The former job these guys had, I believe they had to climb trees by rope instead of bucket truck stuff. We're just kidding, WD. We used to work for a company where we had bucket trucks, but our job specifically was tree climbers. So we would climb the trees, and the, you know, older, more, you know, senior guys, will put it, got to fly the bucket trucks. Now working for the town, we mostly work around power lines. We mostly operate the insulated bucket trucks.
The other thing too is we were working for a private company, and in those private outfits, we're working for private homeowners, and there's only so much access that you have with a bucket truck.
Right, with a full-size truck.
Right. Spider lifts weren't really a thing when we were with the previous company. So the bucket truck was great if it was close to the road, close to the driveway, close to a hard area that we could drive on. But a lot of the stuff was in backyards, over fences, over houses, and it's just much easier to climb those type of trees in that application. At our current job, it's pretty much all road work. We have a couple of parks that we have to do every now and again where we do climb, but like I said, a lot of it is close to the road, easy accessible with the bucket. We don't do much climbing anymore unless it's for side jobs.
Right. Yeah, we're packing on the bellies with all these Coors Banquets over here, but you know, I guess that's comes with the territory, I suppose. What?
At least it's not from donuts and coffee.
Right. You know, that's fine. I'd rather, you know, put those calories to good use. Little's Lawn Care. I would like to get a mini skid loader like a Toro Dingo, but it's so expensive. They are not cheap. They are certainly not cheap. If you're looking into Toro Dingos, I would highly suggest checking out Cormity. It's not a paid, you know, endorsement or anything, but
no,
I've run
awesome.
Dingos, I've run Vermeers, and I've tried a Ditch Witch like a little bit here and there. And the Cormity had some pretty cool features that those other ones didn't have.
I've only run a Vermeer and the Cormity, and the Vermeer did not have the same kind of gumption as the Cormity did.
Yeah.
And the Cormity also has a lot more functions that you are able to purchase, what the attachments or whatever,
well, so the Cormity is just, I don't know, like I don't know if you guys watched the initial video where I first got the Cormity. I think that's really where I own, like, one of the only times I talked about it. But that whole loader on the Cormity can come off not just the bucket or whatever, or the grapple, that the whole loader aspect comes off and you're left with the power plant and the tracks, to which you can pair a high lift dumper, a self-loading dumper, a aerial lift, a cement mixer, a flatbed, a, you know, it's like a pruner thing. It looks like a big hedge trimmer, like all different things. So if you're like a company or a municipality or something that has a lot of different uses for a machine like that, it's very cost effective instead of buying a bunch of different equipment that does a very specific task. Let's see. Around here, all the tree guys have to have a lead guy that speaks English. The rest of the crew speaks no English. Well, Dave C., that is one of the big benefits to our side company, is that when we pull up to the job, everybody speaks English, and usually like 3 out of the 4 or 5 guys are licensed arborists. So we all know what we're talking about. We're all on the same page. And customers really like that. You know, nothing against those who don't speak fluent English. A lot of my skills have come from other guys that have taught me, you know, stuff, you know, and have knowledge well beyond my years. But there is definitely something to be said for being able to communicate effectively and efficiently with the homeowner. You know, that way everybody's happy at the end of the day. What else? Wow, look at all these. I want to make, what is this? Oh, I think, I don't even know how to work this chat. Jack M, if you have 2 sacrificial logs like the guys do, that could lift up the rounds to an easier height. Yep, that's for sure. I think he's talking about our cutting logs.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical of those at first. They to me, because we're picking the logs up off of asphalt millings, putting them on those sacrificial logs as a cutting table, you're bringing millings with you, you're leaving behind sawdust, you're making all these extra cuts that'll kind of bind the chain up. In my head, that all made sense, but once you put the saw to the wood, it flies right through it, and you know, it's much nicer not having to bend all the way down to the ground.
Oh, you can cut for a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know, especially with a 25-inch bar like we have on the 500i right there. It's not a 32-inch like Brad has. I think personally, I don't know, that's a little overkill. I suppose because he cuts like off the pile, that's okay. But I just like, since we have the machine, you can't cut more than one log at a time anyway, so you might as well make that cutting as easy as possible. Let's see. Def loaded tires all the way. Yeah, the loaded tires are awesome. Good teamwork, guys. It's nice to cut trees and bring them home to process. Double bank. Oh yeah, we get paid multiple times, more than double a lot of the time for that wood. Build life. I put beet juice in my rears and wheel spacers, and my Kubota 2501 is like a new machine, twice as stable, makes it hard to outfit the back end, which was a problem before. Oh, outlift the back end. Yeah, so wheel spacers were always a thing that I thought about, and it would help with stability, but I never did because of the tightness in the dump trailer. But now that we have the equipment trailer to haul the tractor around, I think wheel spacers might be a thing, you know, not like huge ones, because, you know, I know it adds, kind of changes the geometry of things. So let me know if you guys have wheel spacers on your tractor and you've had them for a while. How do like the hubs and studs, you know, like wheel studs and stuff hold up to that extra, you know, strain, I guess. Jack, Will, I want to make the exact same setup as Jake and Chris. Splitter under cover with conveyor coming out to back under and load. And yes, also those 2 logs as a cutting platform. All right. Well, we know that Jack is a fan of our system then. Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. I hope we've inspired, it sounds like we've inspired him. So that's awesome. Shibe's getting ready to cut a boatload of shagbark hickory. Oof. All right. Good luck. Have fun with that, Shive. better cutting it than trying to set a throw ball in it, huh?
Oh, for sure.
Shagbark hickory's got to be one of the worst trees to try and set a throw line in to get your climbing rope up into, just because of all the shagginess of the bark.
Everybody from what the chat has said, it seems like they're kind of tired of seeing the 1222. But I'm curious to see how the 1222 handles that shagbark hickory.
Yeah.
Because it is very stringy. It is
very stringy.
That bark is very hard.
Unless it's standing dead like roadside logging, like Shive does. If it's dry hickory, it can pop. Yeah. And it can be quite explosive. Yeah. I feel like because of all that stringiness when it's green. But well, I'm sure we'll see on a video, but curious to see how that works out.
Keep an eye out for that though, because I'm sure that'll be a good video.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam Pittman. Great thing about the tractor is bigger footprint, so it doesn't tear up the yards. Yeah. We're up to 74. 74. We're almost
60.
We're almost at 3/4 of 100. That's awesome. Bill Live said 69 giggity. That must have been when we were at 69. What's a Stan Nelson said, what's a ton? 80? Not sure what that means. They are called yellow bellies for a reason. Are you referring to yellow jackets?
Yeah, yellow jackets.
We call them yellow jackets around these parts. But no problem if you call them something else. Bradley Farster said, wait, why does it do that? I got my tires loaded and have the R1 ag tires and widened out to next widest width. It definitely is hard on my lawn, but good for my hunting property. Well, yeah, so that's why I went with the R4 tires. At the time, the R14s, they almost look like ATV tires. They weren't a thing when I bought the tractor. I guess they came out like a year or so after. I wish I had gotten the R14s because I think they would do even less damage than like the big bars on the R4s. But the R4s have been great. They really don't do too much damage unless it's really wet or you're turning like really hard multiple times like throughout the day.
I did a ton of back and forth on my property doing.
Yeah, talk about that while I go drain the main vein.
Yeah, I did a lot of back and forth on my property while I was doing all that tree work and the dirt moving, yada, yada, from the last video. And it didn't seem to do all that much damage. I didn't see any ruts. I didn't see any grass kind of like popping up. It seemed to do pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. My pickup truck probably did a lot more damage than the tractor did, to be honest. Sorry, I'm a little slow reader. I don't know where Jake left off. Find what's common in your area and the local dealers. Yeah, I think that's why Jake went with the Kubota originally, because the dealer was local and the you want to go over you buying the Kubota?
Are you talking about this guy right here? Any machine you get, I'd find what's common to your area. There's local dealers. If that's bad boy, get it. Don't buy a deal. Oh, I think he's talking to Shy, but yeah, I bought the Kubota. I went into the tractor buying process hoping to buy a Coyote, just because they were a more cost-effective brand. Not saying one's inferior to the other or anything like that. But the local dealer that was closest to me and that offered me the best deal, one, as far as price, and two, just they had a service truck so that if anything ever broke down on the tractor, they would actually drive out to me and I get one free service call a year. Which none of the other dealers in our area had. So that's why I ended up going with the Kubota. It wasn't, to be honest, it really wasn't the most cost-effective brand. It was more expensive than some of the other ones, but I value the relationship that I have with my dealer. And ultimately that's how the Cormity whole thing, stemmed. So I'm glad I went with that. He said, Shive said his Bad Boy dealer sells Massey also. Bad Boy is just a rebranded Branson. Jeff Y said, I'll hopefully be getting a Massey 1800 this year. I already have a larger Massey farm tractor, and it's been great. Well, good luck getting that second one. I wish I had 2 tractors.
I wish you did too.
Yeah. Then you'd have a tractor, and I'd just have 1 tractor. The belly is not from the beers. It's from the wedding ring. I don't know.
The wedding ring's not on yet.
Yeah, I don't have a wedding ring on, but we'll see. We're in that planning stage. I think the belly is definitely from the beers. The wedding ring doesn't hold me all that back, too far yet. So I think I said that backwards. Shibe, I've had good luck with my Massey. I love the log cutting table. I stole that. And then there it goes again.
You get a little.
I stole that idea from you guys, and it works well for me. Yeah, the log cutting table's great. It really saves the lower back. I've made a cutting bunk, much like what Chris uses so much. Good evening, Jake. Good evening, Chris. Good to see you guys doing a live. How's it going, Matt? Mount Tammany Ridge. I recognize that name from the comments for sure. Premier Iowa Tree Surgeon said, I have my own tree service business and sell firewood. Love watching your channel. You guys are doing great. I bring my own logs home as well. Plus, I go to landscape dumps to get logs. Awesome. That's cool. I've never thought about going to the dump where we dump logs to pick more favorable logs.
Yeah.
That's it. I had that video, last week? One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. If I go and dump a load of crap logs, I could drive back with a load of good logs. Although I think they make money, because they turn all that stuff into mulch and stuff. So they're making money on it too.
Well, our one dump
at least
in
by
Stanford, they do mill logs, they do firewood logs, they do mulch logs
and then brown paper. Well, yeah, mill.
Yeah.
Well, and brown, because they do mill logs and then brown paper too.
But they send them off in different trucks for the different applications, along with chip. The dump that we use on a regular basis is more of a recycling center, so I think it's more homeowner size pieces that kind of show up there.
Yeah. And I know for a fact they grind that all into mulch.
Yeah.
Because they're primarily a mulch company.
And the dumps near us in our hometown, they don't really allow us to take what we want.
Well, my town will. I just have to go to the other dump.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been using a friend's Steel 650 with a 28-inch bar. Cuts great, but 16.5 pounds is heavy. Been looking at a 462 or 500i. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard
what
a
650 is. Bradley, what's a Steel 650?
I'm interested in that. I've never heard that.
Maybe he meant 660 because 5 and 6 are next to each other. That's probably what he meant.
We have one of those on our bucket truck at work, and it is a heavy saw.
It's a heavy saw. What do we got? A 36-inch bar on it? Yeah. And then we have a 3120 with a 48-inch bar.
And then we have an 880 with also a 48-inch bar on
it. I think, is it 48 or
I want to say it's 60.
I thought it was longer, but it could be bendy. Longer. It's bendy.
Yeah, anyway. But because it's not a hardened steel bar, it's just a regular bar.
Like crazy. Like you can't. You have to start the cut with like a 25-inch saw and then put the 880 into that cut. Otherwise, the chain just pops off the bar
almost immediately.
If not sooner.
Yeah.
TB 2228 blows right through hickory. I'm sure it. Is
that Todd?
Yeah, that's got to be Todd. That's definitely Todd. TB, you're Todd. Pretty sure.
Todd from Fellowship of the Furnace.
Yeah, it's got to be from Connecticut. It was just cut a few weeks. Oh, Shibe said that hickory was just cut a few weeks ago. Yeah, all right.
Fun to split.
Have fun with that. Well, cut, but was it alive or dead? Mount Tammany Ridge, you guys have a great system. I'm hoping to do something very similar one day. I'm also happy to see you didn't use those DJI beams for your roof. Yeah. Oh, TJ. Oh, and
there it goes.
Yeah. No, I think ultimately they're proving to be great firewood.
Yeah. I don't know if it came up in the video, but I actually got those beams from a construction site who was looking to throw them away.
As with most of the stuff we get on this channel.
I'm a big dumpster diver.
I love to dumpster dive.
Getting stuff for free. And I saw those I-beams and I said, you know what? Those would make a great roof for my chicken coop extension. Let me take those home. Jake, come on down with your trailer, bring a full load of logs.
We loaded it. Oh my God, did we load
it? Make these I-beams as long as possible. And I couldn't figure out how to marry them to my chain link fence sections. And I kind of threw the idea out. And Jake said, oh, since you're not using those, let me use those. We're going to do a shelter. And it proved very quickly that we could not.
It was going to be a pain.
I think we went to pick one up and the top and the bottom both fell off the center piece.
Yeah, like the glue or whatever holds them.
So it was not good. I'm sure they're great if they're brand new and you know how to use them, but we do.
And if you're using them indoors, a lot of people point out that they're not really supposed to be used in like humidity and stuff like that. Let's see. Make sure to smash that like button. That's right, Jack.
Yeah,
thanks, everybody. Hit that like button.
We are one away.
We are 63 people and 63 likes, so that's pretty good. Bob Fitch. Hey, Jake and Chris. Evening, guys. How's it going, Bob? Thanks for tuning in to our first live stream. Shibe said, I think I'm going to sharpen the box wedge before I tear into the hickory. That's probably a wise idea. Sharpen up your hatchet.
Yeah.
I'm actually very curious to see how a box wedge does with shagbark hickory. I feel like shagbark hickory is better than bitternut hickory. I feel like bitternut hickory is even stringier than shagbark hickory, but now we're getting into tree nerd stuff. What?
Sorry, Shibe, it might be cool to see it before the sharpening and after the sharpening. See if it shreds those fibers a little bit better.
Maybe do it. But okay, a request, Shibe, for your video. Try and split a piece before sharpening it and after. Before and after. Let's see what you got. Just stumbled in. Glad to see you guys go live. Shot lift, simple living. Sorry, it's kind of far away. Thanks for tuning in.
Screen over here.
Well, see, if we had it turned around, I think we could have the comments up on the TV that's right there.
We could. But who wants to see an American flag and a Craftsman workbench?
Well, I don't know. You never know nowadays.
No one says made in America, like Craftsman and American flag.
Question: are you guys partners, co-owners of your tree business?
It's hard to say. We kind of work for each other.
It's very fluid.
Yeah.
We each have clients and we each have our particular set of skills. And I guess I have the equipment, basically. But, we kind of work that out, behind closed doors.
Yeah. When I work for Jake, I have a day rate for him. When he works for me, it's a day rate for me. When we do the firewood and stuff, we've come to a mutual agreement on the final price.
Yeah, nobody does anything for free. Everybody is getting some sort of compensation, whether it's compensation in bartering, labor, monetary, whatever.
Or yellow jackets.
At the end of the day, we're good friends, so it really doesn't matter. But we never want that to, affect the friendship. Let's see. Adam Pittman said, definitely get a tractor that you have a good dealer near you for sure. Agree with that wholeheartedly. Will Davidson, that's one thing some people don't think about. Why does everyone use tractors? Skid loaders are way easier to maneuver in a smaller area. That's true. Skid loaders are also sometimes wider than tractors. And the reason I went with a tractor versus a skid loader was because I could do two things simultaneously. I could have a grapple on the front and I could have a chipper on the back. And a big thing for me, like if I got a skid steer, I could surely run a grapple on the front and lift up a heck of a lot more. And I could 100% run a Woodmax PTO, or not PTO, but hydraulically driven chipper on the front. But you're limited to only doing one thing at a time. Whereas with my tree work and using the Woodmax the way that we do, it's very helpful to be able to do two things simultaneously. So that's why we use the tractor, and there's obviously a big, price differential there as well. John Edwards said, been too many times lately. I can't get out of my skid steer when I've got to do something outside because the boom is up and I can't open the cab door. That's also another, downside, I suppose, to a skid steer and a cab skid steer in general. Time in the Buckeye. What's up, buddy? Hey, Dude Ranch. Thanks for tuning in to our first live stream here. Hardworking man. Hello, everyone. Just got in from shooting half of our next video. Awesome. I just saw that you posted the revamped all wood versus Wolf Ridge with the fixed pump. So looking forward to watching that one, Heath. Lily's Farm and Firewood. The dumps in Jersey mulch everything. They're charging $15+ a yard to dump chips. Wow. That is expensive for dumping chips. We have a place here where we can dump chips, or multiple places where we can dump chips for free. Wood is a different story. It depends on like the length and the quality of it. TB, that is Todd. Yes, it's me. How's it going, Todd?
He should be over here on the live stream.
Yeah, he should. Well, we didn't know we were going to do this. Bradley Farser, it is a 650. I'll post a pic on your Facebook. It's probably 10 or so years old. Huh. Interesting. I've never, I wonder if it's got to be comparable to a 660.
I would think so.
Right? I mean, I guess
not to throw shade at you, but maybe it's the homeowner versus the professional.
I feel like they don't make homeowner saws that big though.
Well, there's like the 250, 260, the 320, the 330, or the 360.
I don't know. I have a lot of steel saws, but I am nowhere near in the trenches that deep to know that kind of thing. I've never heard of a 650, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I will check the Facebook. Thank you for saying that you'll post a picture. Let's see. Oh, well, this Shot Lift Simple Living just removes his door if he needs to get in and out of the skid steer. So that's almost like your brother with that piece of plywood, right? Yes. A cardboard. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It just keeps jumping.
We catch up, and then it's.
Yeah, I think it wants to bump us to the bottom. Let's see. Oh, we already saw that. I just removed my door. This is, I can't imagine having hundreds of people in here. Yeah, right. Sneak 66. I live in Sheridan, Wyoming. I've been to Sheridan. Beautiful area. Wyoming in general is just a gorgeous state. And our county landfill charges $15, and you haul out logs or buck them up on site. You can take all your truck and trailer can carry per trip. That's awesome. That's much like our dump that we dump for our municipality job. You can go in and take as much wood as you want. Hardworking man said, I just split some super stringy hickory, but use single wedge on old blue. Right. Like that's hickory can be a pain in the butt. That's for sure. Let's see. Little's Lawn Care. I just ordered a Husky 592. Congratulations. That's an awesome saw. Very nice saw for sure. Robert Schultz, do you plan on buying one of them Easton-made wood splitters? No plans in doing anything splitter-wise at the moment. Splitters are so expensive, and we have something that works. It runs. It runs. It splits. It might not be up to our productivity level, but our productivity level is not at the point where we can fully justify spending the money it costs to, buy a new splitter. So for now, we are perfectly content with what we got. Jack M, Robert, I think an Easton-made would look better in their yard for sure. Well, I do love orange, but I want a big saw like that. Let's see. TB, I can put down some yellow jackets. I'll join you next time. I'm sure you could, Todd. We will definitely let you know next time. We don't decide 2 minutes before we actually go live. Mount Tammany Ridge. Having a skid steer also leaves you a lot of cleanup after you get done steering left and right all over the place. Things can get pretty bumpy. That's true. I mean, skid steers are heavier. They definitely leave, I'd say, probably larger ruts, maybe sometimes.
I mean,
but
I'm no professional operator by any means, but having run the skid steer at work and running the tractor on side work and on personal properties, I do believe the tractor has a better footprint and a better handleability than the skid steer does as far as tearing up lawns and things of that nature, because the skid steer is much more touchy in my eyes. If I had more time behind the wheel of a skid steer, would that change? Possibly, but not soon enough.
So for me, I think the biggest difference between a skid steer and a tractor for what we do is that a skid steer would be a fantastic designated like yard machine where you have plenty of room, because a skid steer you could pick up what 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, but how big of a log do you have to be picking up in order for it to be 4,000 or 5,000 pounds? Like that needs to be a big honking log or a really long log. And when we're working in residential areas, I know a lot of the time that the camera's just set up on a tripod, but there's gates, there's fences, there's pools, there's shrubbery, there's how, like you can't fit a 12-foot log between two houses. So the tractor for us picks up as big of a log diameter wise as we'd possibly need, and we just cut it to the area that we can fit. Now if we had a big wide open wood yard where we could just pick up 20-foot poles all day, I think a skid steer would be fantastic. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you were absolutely right, Chris. That's exactly what it is. It was the farm ranch version of a Pro 660. It's 85cc, 6.4 bhp. That's awesome. We should get one of those.
We should. 100%.
That's awesome. Never heard of that. What's up, fellas? Fate Farms, PA. How's it going, Fate Farms? Oh, we're going to decline that call. Anyone have experience with a Farmer Tech MS660 saw kit? I think there was one at Brad's, right? It was like a Holtz Forma, which I think is comparable. Yeah. What it is how many cords you have ready next season. That's absolutely right. You can't sell firewood without having wood ready for next season. I think right now, I counted yesterday 37 totes. So what's that divided by 3? Like
more than I can do.
I don't know, 12 or 13 cords that are ready at this moment. But the thing is, we keep selling them. As soon as we split some ash that's dry, it's out like within the next week or two. So we're having a hard time building up a stockpile, which is tough. Jack M said, John, I have the 660 Pro. My opinion, get the real thing. John Edwards, I would talk with Brad from Firewood at the Furnace. Okay. Steel or Husky, and have you thought about adding an oil cooler to the splitter to help keep it cooler if it has one at a bigger one? Robert Schultz, I have. Okay, first of all, answer your first question. I'm impartial to Steel or Husky or Holtz Forma or Echo. Whatever is sharp and will get the job done is what I will use if they were all laying out. I personally have more Steel than Husqvarna saws, but that's because some of the saws that I have were bought through companies that I've worked for in the past, and I've gotten deals on certain brands just because of certain associations that I've had. Personally, I don't care.
I can agree with Jake as far as if it's sharp and it cuts and it runs, run it. It doesn't really matter what color the saw is, what brand is the sticker has. To be honest, I'm more of a Steel guy. I can never get a Husqvarna to start. It takes me forever and a day to get a Husqvarna going. The 3120 that we have at work, I can't get that started. I usually have to have somebody else start it for me, if we're being honest. The one Husqvarna that I bought a couple of years back, I ran one tank of gas through it and it blew up on me. The second one that I bought, I still have. I use it mainly for milling or kind of bucking up secondary logs in the wood yard. I just kind of leave it in the job box over here. But I'm more of a steel guy. It's much easier to start, much easier to use. But if it's sharp, I'll use it. I'm not going to turn my nose to it.
Everybody has their preferred shade of orange, but we're not too picky here. Orange is my favorite color, so as long as it's that hue, I'll pick it up. Let's see.
We had a second part of that, didn't he? Oil cooler.
Oh, right, the oil cooler.
We've talked about
multiple. Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of suggestions because as a lot of people know, as we definitely know, the Rugged only has a 12-gallon oil reservoir. It is running a 22-gallon per minute pump. So you could do quick math there, and that oil is getting cycled roughly 2 times per minute through that thing. So it just heats up astronomically fast, way faster than it should. And that is something that Rugged has addressed. It's fine for those who are running for, an hour here, an hour there, throughout a weekend, whatever. But when we run, we cut one day, cut up a bunch of wood, or we get deliveries, in my own dump trailer of cut up rounds. And then we split, and we try and split it all, or as long as we possibly can. So an oil cooler would be nice. We've talked about doing just a larger oil reservoir, like adding on an auxiliary tank and teeing that into the system. We've talked about using everything from a purpose-built log splitter, hydraulic oil cooler with a fan and everything, to using a Honda Civic radiator just to run stuff through. At this point where we are right now, we need to make firewood. So we don't think that it's really worth our time and energy and thought and money to add on something like that when we can pretty much fill up a trailer load of wood in about 2 hours, which is pretty much roughly the amount of time that we get out of the oil in the splitter, as far as the auto cycle valve working, properly, we'll say, on, given loose terms. So that's why we haven't done anything, but it's definitely been a consideration. So let's see. It works with the money. Having to play with carb adjustments gets old for me. Sneak 66. I'm on my 5th silver jacket. Nothing better than cracking beers on a Friday night and watching you live chat. Awesome. Well, silver jackets and yellow jackets can align here. You won't see any silver jackets on this channel,
though. I don't know if we get Lil Finley over here.
He might. Yeah, we hired a new guy at work. I picked up a 38-inch ash that was 8 foot long. It made the 773 grunt. Yeah, that sounds like a big log. Let's see. I have an MS660 clone that runs great. I've heard that they run really good, and that price is very enticing.
Yeah, when my 441C stopped running, it wound up needing a new coil. I was looking into the Husqvarnas or the clones, and you can get them for very cheap in comparison to a True Blue steel saw. You can almost buy 3 of those clones per one steel saw, and it was very enticing. I almost pulled the trigger on it. Using them in the capacity that we use them professionally and with side work and firewood, you have to make a few modifications to them in order to make them reliable enough to use regular like that. But as a homeowner, I don't see why you can't go with the clone and save yourself some money.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. I do have to skip ahead a little bit. I know that some of my family has just found out that we are live right now.
Geez.
So to Rebecca and Max and Jojo and Heather and Scotty and Adrian, if you're there, hello. They're asking about the decor. I don't know if you can see the horse down there, but it's there. So other than that, how's it going, guys? Let's see. No doubt. Chris, any more plans on using the Alaskan chainsaw mill?
Yes, I have a few logs in the works. I have a couple yellowwood logs. One.
We still have that really cool Chinese elm.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that a Chinese elm?
Was it Chinese elm? It might have been it was either Chinese elm or it was Japanese pagoda tree.
I think that's what it was. Japanese pagoda.
We have one of those logs. We have a couple white oak logs. I do have a redwood log, a couple yellowwood logs,
cherry. We have plenty of stuff to mill.
Just not enough
and 2 chainsaw mills to do it. I literally have a chainsaw mill sitting in a box that it's been there for like a year. We just don't have the time because honestly, we do what makes money, and that doesn't really make it's more for personal enjoyment.
Yeah, it is.
But we did just find a local kiln locally that could dry some slabs for us, which would make it more enticing to do more stuff like that if we could work out a deal where we can get it dried and potentially sell, or just actually be able to use within like a realistic time frame. But as of now,
be able to show you guys from removal to tabletop or something along those lines would be pretty neat. But like Jake is saying, it's not really worth the time at the moment.
For us to take a log and do a video on milling it into slabs, that's awesome. But then, if we mill it into a 2-inch slab minimum, okay, it's 2 years for that thing to air dry. So there isn't really much instant gratification as far as, turning that into a final product. The brand does not matter as long as it's a steel. Okay, well, I don't know. Are you a Husky fan, Michael D? I can't tell by that. Question, have you checked what temp it gets up to? Heath, I want to get one of those digital thermal things, that you like pull the trigger and it points. I think that would help out with our testing quite a bit. I do have a gauge that I can tie into the hydraulic system. I don't have it there all the time. I have it like on a T, and I put it on and off to test the auto cycle valve, and it's well within all the parameters. But I think a temperature gauge would help us like gain a threshold of when it starts.
Is it a temperature gauge or is it a pressure gauge? I thought it was a pressure gauge.
No, it's a D10. It's a pressure gauge to figure out where your pressures are. But Heath is saying if we had a temperature gauge, check the temperature when it starts malfunctioning, like when it warms up, and then maybe when it starts malfunctioning, and then we could get a zone as far as So let's see. Cheers with the summer shanty here. Outdoors in the 608. Cheers. Summer shanty. I don't know. I know it's like 65 degrees out, but I don't know if we're in summer yet. Robert Schultz, would you buy the 500i again? No, just because I don't want to, spend another $1,400, but it's a great saw. I don't need 2 of them. I mean, I know what you're saying. I'm being facetious, I guess. Would you buy the 500i again? Absolutely. It's a fantastic saw. It's an expensive saw, but I think it's well worth it. I think the power to weight ratio is fantastic. I mean, you've probably used it honestly more than I have.
Like most things,
it's right there. Like I just buy stuff, and then Chris says, "Oh, I want a more powerful saw." Okay, well, let's get you a 500. You got to keep them happy.
The farm boss isn't cutting it anymore. Let me just
literally. I mean, it blew up. It's sitting in a box right there. 500i, fantastic saw, very good. Let's see. I get rid of straight 90-degree fittings and go to 90-degree radius fittings. Harsh angles, absolutely. John Edwards, I've been thinking about going to either 45s or just straight. I don't know what they call them, like 180 or just straight fittings to reduce that heat. That is something that I've thought about. Again, there's a lot of fittings on that machine. It would cost time and money. So where we are right now with like how much runtime we get out of the Rugged Mate, it's kind of within our wheelhouse of the time that we actually, tangibly have and the size of the dump trailer to fill it up. Jack M. Question. So I noticed you have that MaxFlow air cleaner on your 500i. I think that's what it is. It absolutely is. How hard is it to maintain it being an oiled filter, and how often do you clean it?
I don't know if we've run it long enough.
Well, we haven't run it quite long enough to need, like, we haven't.
I got a squeaky chair.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I thought that was some grumblings from down below.
No, I haven't eaten yet today.
We haven't really run it to truly like cut up firewood with the max airflow filter on there. Sarah just walked in. The oiled filter is definitely a thing that takes a little bit extra, work to do. But I think it's kind of nice because you don't necessarily have to buy a new filter every time you want to change it out. The cleaning of it, every time that we kind of run the saw, I gently blow it out with the air gun, and that seems to be doing the trick. So, I mean, is it worth the money, like from a power standpoint or anything? I can't really tell you there, but
I apologize for calling you out, and I really don't mean to. But did you actually oil that?
No. Well, see, that's what I was kind of, beating around the bush. So I talked to MaxFlow, and I got oil filter oil, but it was the red oil, and I was told not to use the red oil because it can be detrimental to the cylinder and the piston and everything. So then I proceeded to ask MaxFlow what would happen if I didn't run the oil. And they said, well, nothing's really going to happen. It's just not going to have the full filtering capabilities, as if it was oil. Because I guess the oil picks up like the very, very fine particles. But between the cartridge filter that they give you and the foam that goes on top of it, I think that's more filtering capability than the stock steel filter,
cardboard air filter
gives. So I think I'm okay, but I am fully planning on buying the proper oil. I just haven't gotten around to it, and we haven't really run the saw like cutting all day, cutting up logs and rounds and stuff to warrant the need for me to get it yet. So that's it. Sarah, come say hi.
I gotta say, this is the first 500i owner.
There's Sarah. Everybody that wanted to see Sarah.
Hello.
Here she is.
Who are we talking to?
We're talking to 73 people right now.
Oh, wow. You're famous.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, she's kidding. Anyway, what else do we have? I get rid of, we already, what else do we have? How often do you clean it? Enjoyed apple moonshine and a hot cocoa with salted caramel Irish cream. That sounds delicious.
I want that right now. You making that?
Yeah, I wish. I'm curious on that too. I'll catch y'all in Friday Night Live. I'm back 40. See you there. All right. See you there, WD. Take it easy. Tomorrow I'm going on over to my buddy's house to film him using his sawmill, and that has an 8-foot throat and a 30-foot deck. Wow. That is awesome. Mount Tammany Ridge. I'm going to have to tune in for that one.
Yeah, we are.
8-foot throat. That is a massive sawmill. What brand is that if you're still on here? Hello, Jeremy. We are well. How are you? There's a guy. Oh, Todd said there's a guy with a kiln next town over, maybe 10 minutes from you. Yeah. If you're talking about Newtown, that's the one we're talking about.
Did Gus and Lou make an appearance?
They're too short.
Here, Lou.
Are they going to be Brad's 3-hour and 45-minute mark? I don't know what that's referring to. Well, when did they start? You definitely convinced me to go with the 500i. Walcott Family Works. Are you trying to get Louie in the screen?
Yeah.
Let's see. I could tell when he started answering that he wasn't up on the maintenance. Yeah, well, I was, trying to do my best, but Like I said, everything here you get is real. So
No, it's okay.
go
I
ahead.
just looked big.
what's the yellow banner on the wall? That is West Virginia, WVU, West Virginia University. That is the school I went to for college. Thanks for answering my
About him.
questions.
Has anyone said anything about him?
Oh yeah, they talked about Kramer in the beginning. Thanks for answering my questions. I also purchased an MX 8800 and a Wicked 60 grapple because of your videos for my Yanmar YM 34/7. Awesome. Well, thanks, Robert. I'm glad that you found the videos useful. Look at that.
Yeah.
We influenced a chipper and a grapple purchase. Very cool. The moonshine is separate and sitting next to my recliner. The hot water was still in the microwave. Good evening, Sarah.
Ooh.
John Edwards said, hello, Sarah.
Hey, John.
I'll try to go back through some of my short clips of my photos and get the brand real quick. Good evening, John. Jake, don't worry. My maintenance is lacking as well. Yeah, Heath, it's tough when you get a bunch of chainsaws. I don't know. How many chainsaws do I have sitting there? Like 7 or 8?
4,
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
I need a drink.
You do need a drink. Yeah, between the chainsaws and the ATV and the tractor and the log splitter and the conveyor and the trucks, it's a lot. Filter maintenance sounds about like me starting a YouTube channel. I just don't feel like doing it. Well, cheers to that, Jack. Sarah, question for you. Did you ever think you'd like making firewood so much?
No. If you asked me 2 years ago if I'd be out here making firewood, probably would never have thought I'd be doing this.
Probably not. Well,
but I love it. Cheers.
Cheers to that. All right. Cheers
Like 3
for
years.
Sarah being here. Yeah, I was going to say
3 years.
I live in Southwest PA, which is only 30 minutes or so from WVU. Yeah, not far. We ventured up into PA all the time to the beer distributors. I checked my Makita air filter the other day, and I was a bit past due. Well, I hope you got that one cleaned out, Heath. All right. Well, we are getting close to. Well, we are past an hour and a half on the live stream.
wow.
I think this was successful.
Boy.
We have 69 people.
How many people did you start with?
We started with 0 people. Now we're up to 71, and I think we had as much as 74 people on here, which is amazing. And people are still coming in. Jason Lee,
this wasn't
hello
planned,
everyone.
Right?
This was not planned at all. It's our first live stream.
Pretty good.
Shot Live Simple Living. Good job, guys. Thank you. Yeah, this was very impromptu. So I hope everybody. We get, it seems like we got some pretty good feedback. Maybe we could do this more often. I don't know. Like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I know Back 40 has the Friday slot pretty well slotted in for everybody. But, maybe we could do a weekday thing or, let me know in the comments of this if you would like more of this kind of stuff. We could do it.
Yeah, this was pretty fun.
We've just been kind of scared to do it, to be quite honest.
Neither of us really knew how to do it. We did do the one live stream in Ohio, but we were kind of like...
Well, it wasn't our live stream. We were just on a live stream.
Right.
Yeah, which is like being on a video. Like, I don't know. So
there's a lot more that goes into it than just filming the video. So
hold on. Wait, we got...
Keep
up the great content. There's a lot of cheers. Good jobs. Everyone hit the like button. I'm hoping you do this more. Good job. Back 40. We could do a Back 40 pregame. Just really ride on the coattails, or not the coattails, the pre-tails of Dan here. Question: are you bringing Sarah to any of the shows this year? That's from Hardworking Man. His wife came to the Paul Bunyan show.
Well, we have a dilemma right now because what's the New York one? What's it called?
The Woodsman Field Days up in Boonville.
It's right between our wedding and our honeymoon.
Yeah, so our wedding is literally the weekend before the Woodsman Field Days, and our honeymoon is the weekend after the Woodsman Field Days.
So I was planning on relaxing.
I will be at the Woodsman Field Days. Whether Sarah will be there is a different story. So it's kind of like my honeymoon before the honeymoon.
Yeah, I think he's probably more excited for the Woodsman Field Day, whatever that is, than going to Portugal with me. But
I mean, Portugal sounds like a lot of fun, but a bunch of firewood equipment and all these great people. I don't know. You're pretty great though. So, yeah. So I don't know. Keep doing what you enjoy doing with all the live streams. I don't know how I'll get anything done with Sarah. Yes, good live stream, guys. That would be sweet. A lot of people want to see the Rugged Made and Splitter Wars. We could do that, Heath. I don't know. I definitely can't tow it out to Michigan. I'd have to
want to tow from New York to Connecticut.
Yeah, when I initially bought, like the day I bought it, it broke down on the way from, but that was no issue. It was because we were driving way too fast. Could you just link up with Back 40 and do a split live stream one day? We have done a split live stream. I think it was like one of his Beyond the Stack things. It wasn't necessarily like a live, but I have talked with Shive and a couple other creators about linking up because I think YouTube does offer like the feature to collaborate on a live stream now. So that might be a thing. Heath said Rachel and he will be there at Woodsman Field Days, so you should probably be there. I like action cutting and splitting and stacking. I really like deliveries too. See you making money. Well, I like the delivery videos are my favorite because that's when it is all worth it. I'll be at Boonesville and Paul Bunyan this year. Boonville will be the pre-honeymoon. Absolutely. We need someone who can do a split live streams for Splitter Wars. We could do that. Heath, hit me an email or shoot me a text. I don't know if I gave you my number, but we could definitely talk. Boonville, wherever that town is called. Boonesboro. All right, guys. I think that's going to be
Louis
it.
At the end.
Oh, you guys want to see
here.
Louis? Sarah,
just patiently waiting.
Louis wants his debut. What's up? Say hi, Lou. You're live to 68 different people. Say hi, buddy.
He said he wants his dinner.
Oh, yeah. He's probably hungry. All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining in on the first Dude Ranch DIY live stream. I think this was a success.
Very successful.
Boom. So I don't really know how to end this, but I guess, we'll
see you at Back 40, right?
We'll see you at the Back 40 live stream tonight. It's just 2 hours away for us here on the East Coast. So everybody enjoy and have a good night. Be safe and cheers. So
cheers.
Thanks.
In the meantime, I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Sarah.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you here next time.